Happy Monday, everybody, and happy Memorial Day. Hope you're having a nice 3-day weekend. And today, we've got a fun trip report for you. We're headed down to Walt Disney World and a little city walk over at Universal. We're talking some fun times in the Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and Animal Kingdom. Also, some great meals at places like Jico, Cape May Cafe, and how about Cowfish? What about Morimoto Asia at Disney Springs? That's right. We're going to have fun talking about a 4-generational trip down to Walt Disney World on today's show. Don't forget, today's show is brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you head down to Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney for no additional cost to you. Check out all the details over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the entire year. Check it out today. Please use it as often as you can. beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You guys make all these shows possible. We could not do this without you. So again, a huge Memorial Day thank you to our supporters. You can support us as well, just $5 a month, and you'll get a bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. Come on over. We'd love to have you. Patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast.
Ready to take a trip to the world? You found the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage.
Welcome to episode 2494 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Monday to you and happy summer. Happy Memorial Day. And again, take a moment to pause today, and thanks to all those folks who have served and given the ultimate sacrifice for our country that we can have such a wonderful place to live. All the freedoms that we get to live under. So again, all those who served and all those who gave the ultimate sacrifice, we once again say thank you for that. Today, we are going to have a great trip report as we do here on every Monday. And today, we're headed up to the wonderful state of Wisconsin, which I got to visit because of cheerleading. And ironically enough, our guest today, former cheer coach. So we've been talking cheer in the pre-show. Sarah's joining us. Sarah, what's going on up in Wisconsin today? What's up?
Hello. Nice to be here, Mike. It's actually a pretty warm day up in Wisconsin, especially for early May, so we'll take it.
So when I think Wisconsin, I think of two things. This is Missouri, and I don't know what people think about when they think of Missouri. Maybe the Arch. I have no idea, but I probably don't want to know what most people think of with Missouri. Maybe the card. I don't even know. And probably don't tell me because we're probably not thought of as much because we're pretty boring here. But when I think of Wisconsin, I think of cheese curds, right? Mm-hmm. I think of the Packers when I think of Wisconsin. And I think of the Dells. I think of like water slides, right? Because we went to the Dells for cheerleading a couple of times because that's where they hosted it at that place called Calamari. Or no, not calamari. Kalahari. Calamari. Is Calamari something to eat? Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. Kalahari is like a resort that has a water park. It's kind of like a big Great Wolf Lodge kind of place. But yeah, we had a big cheer comp there one time. But I went up there, man. I ate some great food at a place called Moose Jaw. There was another place across the street that had like your food came out on a train. Yeah, it was awesome. Like I was only there for like 48 hours, and I fell in love with Wisconsin. So shout out to Wisconsin.
Out there. Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. I'm ready to go back. And we passed a little ski resort on the way up too. It was awesome. Anyway, so let's hear about your Disney fandom. What's your background with being a Disney fan?
I mean, Disney fandom definitely started young. Watched movies. Fell in love with it as a young kid. Went to Disney World when I was probably 5 with my family. And then didn't go back for several years. Waited until I was in high school to go back again for cheerleading. And then after that, Run Disney event was my next thing to go to. And then my husband's cousin actually got me really involved in it again. She's a huge fan, and her husband, when they got married, went there for their honeymoon, and then kept on going back, and there was one year he didn't want to go, so I got pulled in, and now I've been going the last, well, 3 or 4 years. I've been going at least 3 times a year. So
Not bad, not bad. You got a lot of experience there. You've done some Run Disney, a little Run Disney. What race did you run down there for Run Disney? You remember?
marathon, and I ran it in 2023 as well.
Oh, nice. That's the Beast. I'm a sucker for that one too. That's my favorite weekend.
Absolutely.
I keep telling myself I'm giving it up. Last year I swore it was going to be my last marathon, and yet here I am signed up for Dopey one more time. This is it, and I've said it, and I promise listeners, hold me to it. This is my last full marathon. This is it, because my body is breaking down this year. This is it.
Good luck with that. It's addictive.
Oh, it's because I got the full set of ears behind me, right? Because I was there when they first started giving out the ears, and I don't want to. I'm very much a completist, and I'm very much competitive, and so I don't want to stop. But man, my body, I can't take it.
It has to be.
Yeah, I think this is going to be, this is it. I mean, come on, I could cheer, and I can do half marathons, I mean, it's okay. It doesn't kill you as much for the training, but yeah, so you got that, and you've also cheered down there. So what, do you have any like stories from that? Did you enjoy, cause cheer parents here. I mean, I've told a few stories here over the years on the podcast about being a cheer parent. What was that like?
Yeah, luckily, well, I don't know, luckily or not, I've only been down there as a coach for cheerleading, but it's definitely an experience being down there, and I think that's almost more nerve-wracking than being an athlete and being on that stage. Just you don't have the control over it like you would as the athlete being on stage, so you're just sitting there nervous on the sidelines and in the backstage area and everything, just waiting for that routine to be over and hoping that they hit zero and like nothing falls, it all goes well, no one gets hurt. So it's definitely an experience, and having all of the athletes down there at once and just seeing the camaraderie is amazing.
I can't imagine what it is like for a coach, because as a parent, right, you focus on, like, you're focused on your job, but you're focused on that. I was also a coach in many other sports, but I have no expertise in cheerleading. So I was seeing it from, like, I coached my older daughter because she was a team's, like, I coached her in soccer, I coached her in basketball, and she played those more traditional type sports. So I was a coach with that. And we go to Jam Fest in Indianapolis, and we go to these other competitions around the country, up to Schaumburg, Illinois, and down to Summit and stuff. And so we'd watch these things. They're so dang intense as a parent, and I'm watching all the team, and I know where this stunt group's doing this and this. And I mean, my God, I swear I held my breath for like 2 minutes and 45 seconds every single time, and it was just so stressful. And I would, I'm the kind of person, I would stress the whole weekend. Like when the routine ended on day one, dude, I was still nervous, like all the way through day two, like if we made, it was just, I didn't enjoy. I mean, people like, oh, you get to go to Walt Disney World, it's gonna be so much fun. Like I didn't enjoy Summit Weekend that much because, once you either won or lost on Sunday or Saturday, like then it was like, okay, it's over. Like it's resolution. Yeah. We did our best, or we could have done better, but I mean, it's over. Like there's nothing more we can do. The season's over. But, it stressed me out, to be honest. Like, a lot of these teams are down there having a good time. It's not vacation when you're down there for a competition. And I don't know if other people feel that way.
No, I completely agree. It's not a vacation. It's definitely still you're there to get a job done. Yeah. And after it's done, then you can relax a little bit and have some fun at Disney World.
Exactly. It's a business trip. That's what I kept telling Mallory. She's like, yeah, I know. It's a business trip, right? I'm like, absolutely. We got business to get done. All right, let's talk about your trip, though. So you guys had a 4-generational trip. I love this idea. So how did this come together? How did you guys decide to get, because looks like you had people kind of flying in different times and a little piecemeal possibly. I don't know how this happened.
Yeah, so we're all from the same area in Wisconsin, so that definitely made it easy. We were able to meet in person and talk in person about what we all wanted out of the trip and what we were looking for and everything. So it actually started off as a trip with just my husband. It's my husband's family. His cousin and her husband started arranging it, invited the mother along. um, to because they have a toddler and they wanted another set of hands. And then the grandparents said, "Oh, that would be great to come along too. We'd love to see the great grandchild be at Disney and enjoy it as much as they all had because they'd gone many a times with the family when the kids were young. So it was their, they decided it was going to be their last trip to Disney World. And they've been, gosh, probably 15 times. So at that point, they had invited my husband and I along, being my husband being grandchild. So we've traveled with the bunch before, and we just kind of made it a big family thing.
So did you run points on the planning, or did you have multiple people kind of putting this together? How did that work? Because when you have that, it's one thing to have that many people, but like
Yes.
multi-generational, there's a lot of dynamics because you're gonna have people that are gonna want to move at a faster pace than other people, and you might have mobility issues and even dietary issues that come in, with ADRs and stuff like that, all kinds of stuff.
Yep, we definitely had that, and luckily, we're all kind of the family's all kind of good at doing their own travel arrangements. My husband's grandmother was worked at a travel agency when she worked, and his aunt worked for Amex Travel, so we all are very comfortable with it. I travel for work like 75% of the time, so we were all able to make our own arrangements, and some worked out better than the others, but we all made it down there. And other than that, definitely mobility issues. Grandparents are getting older, so they moved at a slower pace. We had the toddler there that's only 2, and he did not do well in the heat, so we took a lot of breaks. But also just the fact that we had all been to Disney so many times separately, we kind of had our own agendas. We knew what we wanted to do. We knew what we wanted to do as a family too, and we are all very comfortable in just speaking to those points, and just kind of took everything in stride. So took a lot of breaks throughout the day, went off and did our own things, met back as family, and it changed from day to day. Like we had dining reservations as a group, but we also did things separately too. So it was just communication was key.
That's kind of the best way to do it too. Is like when you go with a group, my best advice is don't try to stay together 24/7. Like it's good to be together for sometimes because you want to make those memories as a group and, get the pictures and all that kind of stuff, but don't be scared to break up into smaller subgroups and don't just make it your nuclear family either, make it a dynamic group that changes from time to time, but go where the interest lies. If some of the, people want to break up and go on a more e-ticket attraction, do that while a few other people go grab an ice cream cone that aren't into that kind of thing, and I think that's great advice right off the top of the show. And let those groups kind of switch out throughout the 4 or 5 days that you're there. Don't always make it the same groups that break up and go different places. Make them fluid, but don't try to keep 18 people together 24/7. That'll be a nightmare because nobody will be happy.
Yes, exactly what we did.
Cool. Okay, so let's talk about your accommodations. You stayed in a condo because you had friends down there that you were meeting up with at the same time, and you also stayed over on the Hotel Plaza Boulevard, I believe, too. One of those hotels.
Yep.
So how'd that work out for you? Any highlights there? Anything like that?
Yeah, so the condo is always good. We have friends that own down there, so whenever it's available, we try and stay in there. And we had the friend that owned it actually flying in the day after we did, and didn't even know it until I posted, on social media, "Hey, I'm going down," and he's like, "Why don't you just stay with us?" So we
Score.
definitely did a switch, like very last minute. I'm at the airport, like canceling hotel reservations, but so we were able to do that and spend some time with them. And then the last half of the trip where he wasn't down there and the condo wasn't available, we moved to a Disney Springs area, Good Neighbor Hotel, and stayed off property there.
Nice. All right, so let's talk about some of your times at. It looks like you guys flew down from Milwaukee, got there, and had some flight delays. Looks like Atlanta got you. But
Oh,
once you got there, how'd you guys kick off the trip? Once you finally got through the delays and all that travel junk. I hate
so
that.
yeah, so travel was kind of interesting because we wanted a car down there, and my husband likes driving, so he actually picked me up in Atlanta, and we drove the rest of the
Oh,
way
is that
down.
what happened? Okay, I didn't see. I saw the delay. Oh, yeah. Okay, now I see it. Okay. Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah,
that. Okay, that's a big difference. Atlanta.
well, yes, because I didn't
Holy cow.
driving the whole way by himself, so I'm like, all right, I won't fly directly into MCO,
Wow.
but
Yeah, and you got there at 3 a.m. Oof.
yes, got there at 3 in the morning, into Orlando at about 3 in the morning, and just kind of crashed for a little bit, and then Friday morning woke up nice and early after being up all night and headed down to Disney Springs right away. We had a reservation. My husband and I had a reservation at Morimoto's right away that morning for lunch. So that's always something that we try and do because we love the Peking duck there and just all the interesting entrees that they have. And the restaurant itself is
That's
gorgeous.
what I was just gonna say that because I haven't been in there. I went there for like a media preview when they redid Disney Springs a long time back, and the thing I still remember from that restaurant, besides for they had like some really good like chicken drummies. I must
Yes,
ate a million of them, but because I was out on the terrace. But that restaurant is gorgeous, like those hanging lights. There's something
chandeliers.
about it.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, that place is beautiful. I mean,
yeah,
it's like almost too beautiful to be at Disney Springs to be. It's
yeah,
gorgeous.
absolutely. And
Yeah,
like the little seating areas that they have, like the reception area is fantastic as well.
absolutely. I mean, it'd be a great place for like a date night. You know, like fancy, even a fancy. That's why I think like it's almost like a great fancy date night place. But it's like bam, right next to Raglan Road and Sprinkles Cupcakes. You know, and like Homecoming. You know, it's like it's like romantic place like in the middle of blue collar cupcake stand. You know, I don't know.
Absolutely. I mean, and before we even went in there, we stopped off at Cook's to have a beer before we even
Exactly.
went into Morimoto. So it just works out really well.
Put some respect on Morimoto because it is nice. All right, so what else? Let's go through that day. Looks like you guys did a whole lot of other cool stuff.
Oh, what else did I have down that we did that day? Gosh. We started off at Disney Springs.
Looks like you went over to Animal Kingdom Lodge and saw the animals and had dinner over
Yes, we
there.
did. Friday was very because it was travel. We were just getting in, so we didn't do parks that day. We headed off to Animal Kingdom Lodge. We had never been there before, so we walked around, got dressed up a little bit for dinner, walked around the resort, checked out the savannah, all the animals. Just very interesting, like how they put that hotel together.
Hmm.
The fact that you have the hotel, the resort, the buildings and stuff, and then immediately like outside those buildings, there's the savannah and the animals walking around is amazing. Yeah, had dinner at Jico. We had a very late reservation, but we're able to get in early. I always tell people like, if you have a question about a reservation, just go up and ask. Sometimes they can get you in early or later, or whatever. Just ask. It
Yeah.
doesn't hurt. But yeah, that meal was really nice as well. We did some big entrees there. If you're not into that type of spices or have never tried those types of spices, they can be a little strong. So that's my only thing with Jico. It was wonderful. Food was cooked great, but
Well, see, and it looks like too, you guys have, a very diverse kind of taste palette for me, right? Because I'm very traditional. I mean, I will try different stuff compared to the rest of my family. They won't eat seafood at all or anything. Like, I, I'm very adventurous compared to them, and I'm not super adventurous. But like, for example, in your notes, you said you had cocoa crusted venison loin in Moroccan spiced lamb shank for your entrees. So I like this idea that you weren't going into the parks and you wanted to have a nice meal, but also kind of have an experience. So you got to see the animals, you got to interact with some cast members over at the lodge, and have a meal that would be something that you guys would enjoy. That's going to be something you probably can't have up at Wisconsin. You know, something a little different from home. You know, you're looking for something, you know, it's vacation, right? It's a little bit diverse from where you're from.
Well, right. You don't want to go on vacation. Most people don't want to go on vacation and do the same thing that they would do at home. So
yeah, that's kind of my rule, right? I mean, when I'm on vacation, like I will not have like a fast food that you can have at home. Like as much as I love Taco Bell, I want to have. I know this sounds dumb, but like, you know, sometimes Mallory or Paige or whoever will be like, oh, let's go get, you know, whatever. And I'm like, nope, if we have it at home, we're not getting it until we get back at home. You know, because I'll try it. Not that I won't get fast food like on a road trip or something, but I'll always go to some place we just don't
like
have.
Or something.
Yeah, like Zaxby's. We don't have that in St. Louis.
Oh,
so like
Zaxby's,
that's how the Zaxby's thing started. Because you know you see them every exit, like in the southeast, you know, down the southeast. So I was like, well, we love Zaxby's and Bojangles. We don't have that. Yeah. So I'm like, we'll go there. Anyway, so that, I mean, that's you were probably exhausted though by the end of that night with that big meal and all that. Oh my God, I bet you're tired.
Yes, definitely.
That makes going to Morimoto's and Chico and having no sleep, getting in at 3 a.m. You're exhausting me. So, all right, Saturday gets there and you start off over at Steakhouse 71. Oh, one of my favorite places. I love this place.
We did. That is seriously like my go-to for breakfast on property.
I love it. Good.
It really is. I mean, apparently they've gotten rid of the bottomless mimosas now, which
they have. I just read that actually in our Discord server, brguestpodcast.com/Discord.
But yeah, that's definitely our place to go to. We actually went twice on this trip to Steakhouse 71 for breakfast. So they just have a really good breakfast menu, and just the proximity to Magic Kingdom is fantastic too. If you can get in there and, well, better yet, stay there and walk over. But yeah, I mean, and I don't know. And the art on the walls going in, the pictures and stuff going in there, I think is really fascinating, and seeing all of that as well.
I agree. Like when I try to describe this place to people, it doesn't have a strong theme, yet it does, like for us, for like Disney fans, right? Because the art on the wall kind of has a callback to like Mary Blair and Disney theming, like, you know, because there's like kind of like monorails and, you know, the abstract kind of contemporary monorail stuff on the walls. But I love it. Like it's open. It's not super fancy, but it's kind of nice. It's pretty. It's a mid-century modern look in there, and the food is so good. Like it's not fancy food. It's just super good food. It's
just your normal type of menu, but there's nothing really special about it where it's like, oh, we've added in this spice or that side for an entree to make it special or whatever. It's just very, I don't know, Midwestern.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. That's because like right here, Eggs Benedict. I could eat Eggs Benedict till I die. Like when I go on the cruise here, and it's 44 days from right now as I'm recording. I just give everybody a little update. I go up every morning. I go to Cabanas, boom, Eggs Benedict, and when I go to Palo, boom, put 2 on my plate first thing. I mean. But see, they have it there, and it doesn't have to be fancy. Just a little hollandaise sauce on top of that poached egg, and I'm good to go. I mean,
just needs to be prepared good.
Yeah,
and it is.
Yeah, but I love the little story about your toddler having some pog juice. It was like, it's like giving a 20-year-old the first shot of alcohol or something, because it was like the first time he had a little juice that wasn't diluted with water.
Oh, it was amazing. Yes. My cousin and her husband always dilute their toddler's juice with water, always. And this time they did not, and just handed him, like, it's a good sized cup too. And all of a sudden he takes that first sip and his eyes just like get so huge. And he's just like, what is this? It is amazing. And then you couldn't get the cup away from him for the rest of the meal.
Yeah, he's never going back to watered down juice anymore. The kid's gonna demand pog juice. Pog juice. Exactly. That's pretty
All
awesome.
that sugar in it. Well, the sugar kept him going for the rest of the day, so that was a plus.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it takes, right? On vacation. I mean, I've told the story on this show a million times. Back when the Magic Kingdom used to be open with those, when they had extra magic hours, right? For 3 hours after the park closed. I mean, people don't, it's been so long at this point, people think you're lying when you say that. But I mean, the Magic Kingdom in the summer would close for normal guests at midnight. And then it would be open for 3 additional hours for resort guests. So it'd stay open until 3 a.m. if you were on site. We were stupid. And I mean, we were a lot younger back then. We would stay with Paige. This was pre-Mallory, so Mallory wasn't even born yet. We would stay with Paige till 3 a.m. to the Magic Kingdom, like in July, because we were both teachers. We didn't have anything to do.
Oh, sure.
The way we got her to stay up, we were so bad at parents back then. I mean, my God, we're both teachers with master's degrees, and this is how parenting went for us. How did we keep Paige going? We'd go to the confectionery, and they sold those like straws that you would just pump the like sugar into of different colors. Like you just like, you know, like tapper is like a tapper, and you just fill it up. You'd buy like an 18-inch pipe of basically just sugar. We'd buy that for her, and that would get her going all night. I mean, it's like, what are we doing? I look back, I'm like, you're an idiot, Mike. But she kept going. She crashed hard too when we got back to the hotel. Yeah. Oh my God.
Part, right?
I mean, hey, it's vacation. I mean, look where she is. She's okay. She turned out all right. She's a basketball person now. Anyway, whatever. Okay, so after this, you guys headed over to City Walk. I want to hear a little bit about City Walk because we never talk about that. And people don't know that's kind of the equivalent of Disney Springs over at Universal. It's got restaurant shopping.
Right.
A lot of good restaurants.
Yep. So it's outside of the parks. It's Universal's equivalent to Disney Springs. Plenty of places to eat, and different attractions and shopping there too. So you can get your Universal themed or franchise stuff. We stopped at back to there. We did an escape room there.
Yeah, tell me about that because I saw in the notes that sounded super. Like I like escape rooms. I've done them a couple times because I mean I like taught gifted education, so we did a lot of like problem solving and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that was my first time doing an escape room, and my husband's like in love with Back to the Future. It's probably one of his favorite movies of all time. So he's just like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go. So that was me because I mean, it was about an hour experience. We had 3 people. It was us 2 and our friend that we were staying at his condo. And then we got paired up with some random people for it too. But they pull you through, I think it was like 5 or 6 different rooms. So it wasn't even like some escape rooms are just like one main room and there's a whole bunch of clues. This one, you had to go from room to room. So like once you solved all the clues in one room, it opened the door to go into the next room. And it was themed like different parts of the movies. Like one part was like a 50s diner, and the other part was Bib's mansion or a hotel or whatever. And you just went through different rooms to try and get out. So it was pretty cool. And there was like trivia from the movies that you had to figure out, and some of the clues to, you know, unlock something. So
yeah. Would you recommend that though for folks that maybe are like for both, like kind of both ends of the scale, for folks that are huge nerds for the movie and the franchise, and for people that don't even know the story? Like it works both ways.
Yeah, definitely. Like knowing the movies a little bit definitely helped out. But you didn't need to know the movies or seen the movies to really be able to get through the rooms. They also have, I think, a Jurassic Park escape room too. There was 2 different ones, and we just chose the Back to the Future one.
Yeah, the bad thing about that one is if you don't escape, you get eaten by the dinosaur. I mean, too bad. Just you're just done.
Exactly.
So one other thing it says in your notes, and I think it's Ricky that raves about this place. You guys ate at Cowfish.
We did.
I know this is a place that they have like in other cities. 'Cause I think Ricky always says they have one in Atlanta. We go there in Atlanta. It's like a franchise. But she's always like, it's so good. And I've never been, but you know, people that go like love this place. And I don't know if your experience was, I just think it sounds so funny. The name Cowfish. It just like
I thought
cracks me
so too. I had no clue.
up.
I kind of looked at the menu beforehand, but didn't fully understand what we were getting into, and until our meals came out, it was, if you like burgers and you like sushi, it's a good place to go to.
I like burgers, and I don't have any experience with sushi. Like the only sushi I've really had is like at Food and Wine Festival, and that's probably not the best sushi ever. You know, just kind of floating around World Showcase. That's about it. I mean, I'm from Missouri. We don't eat a lot of sushi. You know,
Well, yeah, but they have sushi at Splitsville, don't they?
they do, but I always get pizza and their burger. I mean, you know, like I should, but I'm with my family a lot of time. I don't know. I mean, they say it's really good there. Everybody does. They say, ironically enough, the bowling alley has great sushi, and I believe it because people always say it. And
Yeah.
but I just, you know, the thing is, like, I'm a big eater, so sushi doesn't really, I don't think, fill you up. You know, I'm
Right.
more of like a meat potatoes guy. So
That's why you add in burgers with it.
yeah, exactly. Apparently, so. But I mean, is this a place like you probably wouldn't go back to? It just didn't. It wasn't just maybe. I mean, different strokes for different folks, right?
Well, we're actually big sushi people, so we would go back to
You
it,
would? Okay.
and I would actually get something different than what I did, because I just got the bento box, which was more traditional, whereas they have the burger fusion ones that were actually, I tried one piece and it was fantastic, and I wish I would have gotten that instead. So yeah, it was definitely a different meal, and I would go back to try something else.
So it says something about a cheese bagushi. What? That just sounds fun. Like I just want to order that. And you said it
Yeah.
was a surprise when it came out. So
It's-
what is a cheese bagushi?
It was a sushi roll, but instead of your traditional, this where the fusion came in, right? Instead of your traditional sushi items in the roll, it was like a Big Mac almost in a sushi roll. So like
Oh man, God
beef,
bless.
and then it had the like a Thousand Island dressing in it and lettuce or something, and it was still the sushi rice. So it was a cheeseburger sushi roll.
Now see, that sounds like a Midwestern sushi right there. I mean, if I ever heard it, like that should be Wisconsin or Missouri sushi, right? You'd have that's something they would serve in the SEC, like in the football stadium, right there. Cheese bagushi, right there. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Holy
it was
smokes.
pretty fantastic.
I'm about ready to go down to Cowfish. I'm telling you, that is a dinner. That sounds super good. All right, well, I'm glad I asked that question because now now I got something to go check out when I go go back over to Universal. That's pretty good. You guys stayed away from toothsomes though, apparently, did you? Because that's dangerous if you go over there. The
Yes, we
shakes.
did.
Yeah, you gotta watch those shakes, man. They'll get you. They got me a couple times.
But you know, I'm not a big sweet person, so it's almost. I mean, it definitely saves me a lot of trouble when going to Disney, because I don't have to stand in line for Gideons.
That's true. I know. I've never done that either, though. I had the only Gideon's cookie I've ever had. They brought them. We did our live show at Give Kids the World. Somebody was a very nice person, bought us a box, like a variety pack. And so they brought them up to the table. Oh, they were super good, though. But
They are.
but I can't, like when I see the line and all the virtual stuff when I'm at Disney Springs, I just walk myself right over to the donut place and just get myself a donut
Yep.
over in the
Yep.
corner. That's what I usually do. And it's like, it's a big donut. It's good enough. Sweet's a sweet. Okay. So the next, it looks like, oh wait, so you guys, that night you went to the Magic Kingdom.
We did.
We're finally talking to, they're like, Mike, it's been a half hour. We're going to talk about a theme park. Let's go. All right. So we went to the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. So yes, I've done many trips, but this trip was special in the case that it was a 4-generation trip and a mix of friends and stuff too. And we didn't. It was kind of park heavy, but not completely. But yeah, so we finally got to a park. We went to Magic Kingdom that Saturday night, and did some pretty special stuff there. our friend is a member of a club that is pretty exclusive down in Disney. So
Yep.
uh,
One less than 34.
yes, yes. So we got to experience a couple of special things at the parks because of that, including getting into the VIP area for fireworks during the night. So that was our main thing to do at the park that day. Oh, and we rode Tron. This was last September. We rode Tron for the first time that trip as well that day.
Did Tron meet your expectations from what you're expecting? It's okay if it
Yes.
did. I mean, because it's it's shorter ride. I mean, I like it because I mean, like I just can't do Guardians. I can't spend that much.
Right, and I think that's the problem that I had was I really like Guardians, and they came out so close together
Right.
that
I get
it
it.
the comparison, like I think Tron is great. It is very interesting how they did the ride vehicle and pulled in, the movie and stuff with it, and tried to build that story. But for me, I like Guardians better than Tron.
I 100% see why people say that. I mean, I see the Guardians is a better attraction like overall. I mean, I would 100% agree. But for me, like just where I'm at in my life, like Tron's perfect. Like it's
Yeah.
short, good. I get the thrill. Okay, good. Game on. Like it's just like doesn't need to be longer. Like I'm fine with it. That's good. This is where I am. All right, so that was fun. Man, I'm so jealous you got to do all that cool behind the velvet rope stuff, but it will keep them a mystery. Apparently, they're going to make a movie about Club 33. We were talking about on the Discord yesterday. It's going to be a movie it's going to be kind of like that old Clue movie they're saying.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have to check it out.
Yeah, talk again, vrguestpodcast.com/Discord. We're talking about it in the Disney TV channel. We're having all the discussions. Anyway, so on Sunday, it looks like you guys went back to Steakhouse 71. Another breakfast, just you and your husband looks like, but then you went over to the Magic Kingdom and started there. And some folks went to Epcot.
Yes. So that day we Steakhouse 71 for breakfast. Love the food. Great place to start off the day.
Absolutely.
Great place to get some drinks before going into a dry park. And then we had our family, our cousin did her gender reveal. So scheduled a capture the moment photo session, and right by the castle, and then we went back to Haunted Mansion for some photos there. Again, with that, can't stress how much cast members are amazing. So her big thought was it was an early morning shoot. I think it was like a 10:30, and she wanted the blue and pink Mickey head balloons to do the gender reveal. And apparently they don't start selling balloons out on Main Street until it was like supposed to be a half an hour after the shoot was supposed to begin. So
I didn't think about
got
that.
got up to the check-in, and she mentioned it, and one of the cast members actually went and got these balloons before they even started selling them, so she could do this the capture your moment and have those balloons available for her gender reveal. So that was really, really nice of the cast members to be able to do that.
That is, and how was that process? I mean, it sounds like the cast member did a pretty good job of trying to get like minimal crowds and to make the pictures as, because again, you're in one of the busiest theme parks in the world, during a busy time, and, it's not gonna be perfect, but with a gender reveal, that's such a special moment you're trying to capture. And how was the logistics of that, and how did that turn out?
Yeah, definitely. So with those photo shoots, they, because they're cast members, they can pull you into different areas that say cast members only. So that's kind of how that works. So we went into, there's kind of by the queue for Haunted Mansion, going down by the boat area.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole bunch of switchbacks or whatever and cast member areas. So the photo pass person pulled us behind there to do the gender reveal pictures. So having the Haunted Mansion in the background and really that and the water and nothing else.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I could see like shooting that. Yeah, that's probably a great shot.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Haunted Mansion, that's interesting. I love that. It's cool. Like it's an unusual background for
Yeah.
a gender reveal. I love that. But I mean, it's personality, right? It's what you like. I
Yep.
love that idea. And the toddler was not cooperating, which hey, Pog juice. You should have brought Pog juice.
That toddler never cooperates. I mean, seriously, the happiest place on earth. And he's like, well, he's 2.5 now. We just got back from a trip last week with him and his 4-month-old brother now. And seriously, this toddler has been to Disney, I think, 5 times now. And I maybe have a handful of the pictures of the toddler smiling at Disney, and that's it.
It happens. I remember Mallory. Man, she was meaner than snot down there sometimes. Like the meanest she'd ever been in her life was probably at Walt Disney World. I'm not kidding. Because I mean, they're off schedule. They're not eating at their normal times. They're away from their friends.
Right. Yep, exactly.
It's hot. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm the crankiest I've ever been probably at Walt Disney World too. You know, now to think about it.
Yeah.
My feet hurt.
Yep.
Yeah, talk to me at mile 22 at the marathon.
It was good. I mean, and the photo pass person had an assistant, so that helped too to try and and we had the rest of the family there to try and get the toddler to smile in the pictures as well. And yeah, it was cute. And then Grandma and Grandpa were there, and they didn't know the gender yet, so it was special for them to be there during that moment too. And Grandpa was just like, they had the 2 balloons, and then my Brittany, my cousin, handed me the pink balloon, and I walked away with it. I knew the gender, but she handed me the pink balloon, and then Grandpa turned to me and he's like, "Does that mean she's having another boy?" I'm like,
It's like, oh no, not another boy. Everybody's a girl in this family. So yeah, it's like everybody's a girl. So I know. And I was kind of thankful because that way Pam's got it under control. I don't even know what I do with the son at this point, but girls are the youngest one's 16 now. We've almost made it. I'm just saying it's emotional.
Yeah.
And when they're emotional, just talk to your mom. Okay, so this is not a parenting podcast right now. I'm just telling you, this is my life though every day with a 16-year-old daughter, and I have a 27-year-old. Same thing. Okay, so you guys rode some rides, did some fun stuff there, and then you had to go back and take a break. I can imagine. I mean, that's an emotional roller coaster right there. And then you guys met up over at Epcot to have a nice meal at Tepanido and kind of have some fun, see some live music over there to the American Gardens Theater and all that kind of. What a nice night, though. I mean, it's a great day.
Well, yeah, and a September evening, I mean, it was gorgeous weather there in the evening to just get over there. And it was just the cousin, her husband, myself, and my husband. And it was just nice to have that adult time, like us, without the older members of the family, and just to relax and wander around. And Food and Wine was going on at that time, so to try some of the different booths and everything and listen to live music, it was a great night.
Nice. And then the next day you guys went over to Animal Kingdom early in the morning. Said still was like a nice and cool, one of those, like you said, kind of September mornings where it's not so brutally hot. And how did that go that day over to start off with? Because you went with looks like the whole family met up over there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So the whole family met up over there. We had gotten everyone, so combination of Genie Plus we used, and also we applied for DAS Pass and got it accepted during that trip. So we were able to get everyone, utilize those 2 things and get everyone on the Safari early, get good times for that. And get a couple of other rides in. Safari is always great. Mike, I know you always talk about logistics of stuff and how they do things and how they organize and everything. And I have to go on that ride every single time I go down there, just because I think it's just so neat how they, go from like one part of the animal kingdom to the other, like the rhinos in one area and then the lions and everything,
And you
and
never
just
see it. You never see like a physical barrier. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I just think that's so amazing.
And here's what I like in your notes here. Gramps was riding Everest like crazy. Like whenever I see Gramps in Everest, I'm like, dude, that's cool, Grandpa.
Yeah.
I'm like, I
Everything,
want to
like
be that guy. You know, like that's awesome.
that's something that surprised the whole entire family. We're like grandma said, you know, this is your gramps would really like to do this, and we're like, really?
I
Okay,
love it. That's awesome.
we'll make it happen.
We need to get Grams on there too. Gramps and Grams. Like up front seat, right there.
Yep, that's where that separation came in, where it's like, okay, the pregnant cousin and Grams and Aunt sat to the side, and the rest of us went and rode Everest. But yeah, it was a good time. We were very surprised at it, and he absolutely enjoyed it.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I love it, but those are the memories though, right? I mean, like that's awesome because that's something, you know, like when you see like a family member do something like that, like, you know, I still remember, like I'm 50 years old, right? And I not kidding. I will tell this story till the day I die. My great grandpa, because I got to know my great grandparents on my mom's side. They didn't pass away until I was like in middle school. Like they lived a long life. they were healthy Midwesterners. But my great grandpa was like 89 years old when I was, you know, like 6 or 7. I can't remember how he was old. He was riding my bicycle one day, like when we were at a family function, and my grandma was like, "Where's my dad?" And I'm like, "He's riding my bike outside." And she's like, "What?" He's like 88 years old. He's riding your bike. Like he was on my, because I had like a Huffy dirt bike. She's like, "Tell him to get off that thing before he kills himself." But I mean, you know, it's like this was my great grandpa, like in the 80s, like, you know, riding a Huffy dirt bike. But I mean, that's kind of stuff like, right, Gramps is on Everest. I mean, Everest shakes me to death. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it has for 5 years. That part where feels it's going backwards. I swear it just swoops you upside down. Like I know really it doesn't, but I like in my head, I'm like, God, I think I just went upside down. I'm pretty sure. Like
Black out a little bit.
exactly. I'm like, I can't take this anymore. I so many rides like that anymore. I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting too old for this stuff. Anyway, so a couple of things. You guys wrapped up of the boathouse. Very nice. Drinks and a good meal. That's a great way to wrap a night. Did everybody enjoy that meal?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the boathouse just does everything right. One of our favorite places at Disney Springs. We're really big. We like eating oysters, so they usually have a really good selection there. Really nice drink menu, stuff that you can get on the rocks, and just like good meals too. And just being on the water out on at Disney Springs, love that little area.
Yep, I love that. Not oysters. I can't do it, man. I've seen them, and God bless you for doing it. And people have tried, and that's where I like seafood. I'm to Missouri. Shrimp is okay, but I can't. Man, that's one of those things you gotta have courage. I think for the first time. That and I can't do because on a cruise, like everybody, especially Pam Forrester's daughter Hannah eats escargot like it's going out of business.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
I can't get past what it looks. I can't get past what it looks like. I'm just like it doesn't even look good. I can't. It's all like slimy and like, you know, brown. I just can't. Like it's never mind. All right,
so all that butter and garlic. It's so good.
It's all right. I'll have French onion soup. All right. So, and you get as much of it as you want on the cruise. So the last day though, you guys went to Cape May Cafe and you compare it here in your notes to Crystal Palace. Cause you're like, some people go Crystal Palace, some people go, we have this question a lot on the show, right? People ask like, where should I go for a character buffet and character breakfast? So tell us why you picked Cape May. What was the reason here?
Yeah. So, I mean, part of the reason was that we didn't, have park tickets.
Totally makes sense. Yeah, totally.
And my husband and I were leaving that day. The rest of the family stayed, I believe, 2 more days. So we did one more just big meal together in the morning for their off day and for us leaving to come back home for that day. The location on the boardwalk is great. After the breakfast, we all kind of split off and wandered around, got some great pictures outside, looked at everything there. But the restaurant itself, the experience, we kind of chose that also just because we've done Crystal Palace before. It's very busy in there because it's at a park.
It's high energy. Yeah, there's a lot going on in there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that was part of it. Just the fact of having wanting that relaxation day where it wasn't a park day. Doing Cape May Cafe, a lot less people, not as high of energy. It was really nice. Their buffet is smaller, but it still has a lot of great options for food. I mean, it's breakfast buffet. You really can't go wrong. And the characters there are, the Daisy and Goofy and Minnie, one other one I can't remember, one or two others.
Is Pluto at that one? I think Pluto's there, right? No.
Oh, Pluto, yeah. And then just their costumes, because they're in like their more summer gear outfits, beachwear. So it's just, I don't know, kind of fun.
And you mentioned too, like a cast member kind of went out of their way to the toddler William here wasn't really into the characters. I mean, 2-year-olds, right? They're probably not into much, but kind of they're either going to really like the characters or kind of be freaked out by the characters, or just like really, in this case, it sounds like this cast member is kind of really trying to make the connection where the William would enjoy this interaction, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Have a little bit more time because of the fact that the restaurant isn't as busy as like a Crystal Palace, where they are able to take that 5-10 minutes to actually try and bring a toddler out of their shell and to have that interaction and to kind of just be there and get uncomfortable with them. So that was really helpful. And the fact that they were coming around multiple times in like an hour period that we were there for breakfast, I think helped too, because it was just the repetition of seeing those same characters over and over and getting familiar with the faces that he was seeing.
That is awesome. So, and you guys have PhotoPass. So I'm sure you got lots of great pictures, right? That you
absolutely
shared.
Always can't do PhotoPass.
Yeah, it's the same. I mean, I hate every time I renew my annual pass, I got to pay the $100, but I mean, I'm a runner, right? So I, just pictures for the races alone. But then when I go on vacations, it's always worth it. But I'm working on this wall here in the studio. I got to print up some real pictures. I got them on my digital frame, right? But I want to make it look like Olivia. My goal is to make this wall like Olivia's, like all different frames, kind of different like filters on top. Some look like 80s, some look like black and white. I got a vision in my head, but I got to get to Target or Walgreens and get all their closeout frames and go to, Walgreens and get some 8x10s printed of my favorite shots, just random ones over the years. So I got a vision. I just got to spend the money. That's always the problem, right? All right. So as we close out the show, though, I don't know if you have these notes that you sent me in front of you, but like your grandma said something at the end of the trip. Do you have these in front of you? Do you want to share that? Because I mean, I love kind of how you wrapped up your notes, because that's kind of what it's all about, right? I mean, it's about making memories and making your bonds stronger within your family. And when your grandma says something, I mean, if you listen to Mike in the Midwest or any of my stories, like I'm so close to my grandma and grandpa that passed on, 20 years ago, but that's the stuff that'll eternally be with me, is the memories I've made with my grandparents. And like, when you hear that this is why you do this, right? And so I don't know if you want to share that, but it meant a lot to me when I read this.
All right, I'm pulling it up. I had to find it real quick.
That's all right. I mean, I could summarize it if you need me to, but I thought it'd be better coming from you if you want to.
Yeah, but you're gonna make me cry
I know. I didn't want to do that to you, but I thought that's super sweet, though. It's
right,
cool
it's
when a
going
grandma
up.
tells you that. Okay, we're good. I just think it's very cool that you guys got to have this awesome trip together, and that I think that you guys were savvy enough to use the tools that were available to the group to make it accessible to folks like grandma and
Yes.
grandpa and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's what helps.
Absolutely.
So do you want to go for it? Do you want me to take it or?
Oh, you take it because
Okay.
it's not pulling up.
Okay, that's fine. So it just says, it says, your grandma said, we can't thank you girls enough for making this trip so fun for us. We never knew the true value of Genie Plus and DAS. If only it hadn't been so darn hot. Gramps and I never had a vacation with so many pictures of both of us in the same frame, as we're not good at selfies. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love that. So, they got to have they got to get pictures of probably the whole group that, I mean, as you get older, you treasure those things more than anything else. Like I'm starting to get to that point in my life where, the phone isn't the treasure anymore. Like having the latest iPhone, like I used to want 15 years ago. Now it's the images that are on the phone that are priceless more than the phone itself. And it's the people that when you get everybody in one place at one time, and when you get to be at a place like Walt Disney World, that's so special. Those are the moments. And it sounds like grandma and grandpa were so thankful that you included them, thought about them, but also made it super accessible so that it was comfortable for them, and they
Absolutely.
didn't, with Genie Plus, they didn't have to wait in super long lines, that it wasn't miserable because of the heat and stuff like that. You accommodated what they needed to have a great experience, and they got to have these pictures. I could just imagine probably looking at them maybe tonight and just reminiscing over the trip and how much fun they got to have, the memories they got to make. And, I mean, all the thank yous, as somebody who put this trip together, that's just got to really warm your heart.
Yeah, it really does. And we, my cousin and I have a great time being able to do this. And we go on so many trips together, but this one was definitely special, being the fourth generation.
Well, I appreciate Sarah. This has been one of my favorite shows because I love hearing about families, because in the end, that's really what you got, right? You got families. And when you're blessed enough to get to share some family time at a place like Walt Disney World over meals at places like the Boathouse or Cape May Cafe, or you get to be with your significant other at GECO, or you're busting out of an escape room over at Universal. I mean, that's the
Right.
good stuff in life. And, today we got to do that here on Memorial Day. And, this week moving forward, if people are waiting a little bit longer to listen to the show, but on a commute or something, but what a way. And I appreciate you taking the time. And we got to have a virtual vacation because of you. So thanks for taking the time to come on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mike.
All right. Well, don't forget our show brought to you today by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney vacation. So check out all the details to head down to Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney today. No additional cost to you. So don't forget that. We're over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon as you buy all those things for summer of 2024. And thank you to our Patreon supporters. You guys make all these shows possible. Just $5 a month. And you get a bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. Coming over. We'd love to have you at patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Give me a follow on the social media. I'm at beourguestmike on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. Would love to connect with you this weekend. And don't forget, the Clubhouse is where we talk Disney 24/7. Great Disney fans, no ads, no junk. It's just fun Disney talk all the time with listeners of the show. We're up to almost 900 folks over there talking all the time. So check it out today over at beourguestpodcast.com/Discord. And we'll have a live call-in show this Sunday night with Scotty G. It's you, me, and Scotty G at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. We'll be waiting for your call. So join us this Sunday night. All right, we're going to get out of here and wish you a great Memorial Day and a fun wrap to your weekend. And hey, it's summer for all of our students and teachers. I know East Coast, you guys probably have like 3 more weeks. I'm sorry, but in the Midwest, in the South, school's out, baby. So enjoy that summer. So until we talk again on Wednesday, you guys stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
You've been listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon.